Yeah, Siman Vav.
We're starting Siman Shin Lamed Vav. Says the Mechaber, Ein Olam Be'ilan, you know, like go up on a tree on Shabbos. Bein Lach, Bein Yavesh, Seif, the tree is alive. Lach means the tree is still alive. Bein Yavesh, Seif, the tree is dead. Bein Nitlam Ba, you can't hang from it. Bein Mishtamshim, Bein Mechuba, the Karka Klal. And you're not allowed to use anything attached to the ground at all. Gezeira Shemiyala V'yitlash. A Gezeira, because you may go up and break off a branch, take off a fruit from the tree. Therefore, they made a Gezeira, they not only use a tree B'chal. Now, this is different than a regular muktzah. A regular muktzah, there's no Isser Ishtamshus, there's no Isser to use it. A regular muktzah is an Isser tiltal, to move it. Here it's worse than a regular muktzah. Here we'll see as we go through the Siman. Here it's also to be mishtamish with the tree and not allowed to use it. Muktzah, if it's stationary and it doesn't move, you're allowed to use it. You're allowed to sit on it, you're allowed to put stuff on it. But a tree is an Isser Ishtamshus, you're not allowed to use it. I will see what using means. So let's see here the Magen Avraham first. Bein Yavesh, even if the tree is dry, you're not allowed to be mishtabish with it, you're not allowed to use it. In the summer, when you could tell the difference between a live tree and a dead tree, because in the summer a dead tree doesn't have any leaves, nothing's growing from it, and a live tree has growth from it. Still, you're not allowed to use a dead tree during the summer. It says also at the loy plug. It said even though you may end up breaking off a branch of a tree that's dead, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not kaitzer, it's not lish. There's nothing wrong with breaking off a branch from a dead tree. It's not attached to the ground. It's dead. Still, loy plug, we said, we're scared if you're going to take off branches from a dead tree, you may end up taking off branches from a live tree.
Yeah, what is the word nasrei kinsi actually?
Because after kinsi, you're going to take off kinsi's branches.
Nasrei is to pull off?
Nasrei is to take off. Nasrei is lashon of taking off. And kinsi is twigs.
Is basically a dead tree analogous to, for example, a rock? When we spoke about picking up a rock on Shabbos, or doing or you know, which you're not using for anything, just a stam a rock.
That's muktzah.
Right, muktzah, right. So I mean, isn't a dead tree basically the same thing? I mean, it's not.
No, it's tree is mechubal karka.
I know, but it's dead.
Yeah, so it's a gzeira. You're right. The dead tree, there's no Isser of Shamiyal of Yitlash in itself,
right?
Because nothing wrong with breaking it off.
Right.
But it says the Magen Avraham loy plug. Loy plug means it didn't make a difference. We answered everything.
It doesn't fall into the category of muktzah at all.
No, it's worse than muktzah.
A dead tree.
Oh, a dead tree, it could be. It could be a dead tree by itself.
Right.
No, it could be. It could be a dead tree as a muktzah in itself.
Right.
But we're talking about Isser Stamshus now.
Right.
We want to say it's also even to use it. You're right. You want to be metaltal, dead tree, it could be it's muktzah. We're not getting involved in muktzah now. We're in a different realm now, in a realm of Isser Stamshus, of Isser using it. So the truth is, if you think about it, the reason why you can't use a live tree is Shemiyala V'yitlash. You may go up and pull something off from the tree, and that there would be an Isser. So you're not allowed to use a live tree, Shemiyala V'yitlash. I'm not allowed to use a dead tree. A gezeira, I may do it by a live tree. So it's really gezeira l'gezeira. So the Magen Avraham uses a lashon over here of loy plug. After everything that's loy plug. Now what does that mean, loy plug? Mr. Brewer here is a different lashon. Yeah, if you look at Mr. Brewer over here, Sifkat Aleph, Bein Yavesh. Even a dry tree, you're now allowed to be mishtamish with a dry tree. Even if the tree is totally dry, it's totally dead. And its branch and its leaves fell off. And the little berries and the branches and the fruit all fell off. shum kashash tlisha. It's not shaykh any tlisha on it. Afilu hachi also b'chol gavni mishum siyog v'geder. Drew puts in words here. Siyog v'geder. Siyog v'geder means to keep you away from it, keeping you away from trees. Now you're right. It's exera. But sometimes, if we allow one thing, you may end up doing something else. Now, people really are not mechalik between a dead tree and a live tree. Therefore, al tziyad v'geder, they said that it's asur. V'yesh makil v'zevi ma'itachama sheminkel l'kol she'yavesh. Some people are makel in the summer that everybody could tell that it's a dry tree.
Meaning that you'll be able to
use it.
Meaning, it's if I find like a dead palm tree and I have those things and I pick up a.
We're not talking we're talking about using it.
Well, using
you want to hang something.
The fan.
Yeah. To lean against it, anything like that.
Right.
Mr. Baruch brings down V'yesh Makilim. Now over here we won't find it. The Magen Avram and the Moshe Karen, the Shulchan Aruch don't bring down the skula. Mr. Baruch brings down the skula from the El Yerabah. And if Mr. Baruch brings it down, there must be a reason for it. That means he held, maybe you could be makel. I wouldn't say that he's makel in all situations, anytime you want to use a dead tree. But it says, he brings down the Yesh Makilim, so if you need it, it's very necessary to use it, you could use it. But that's not okay, really, because you don't really have to use a tree on Shabbos.
That's for a tree that is dry is more likely to, if you're worried about shemoneh-esrei breaking, it's more likely that it's going to break when it's dry than when it's wet.
Right, but there's no issue. There's no issue. By a dry tree, you could break it off if you want. There's no issue at least in a dry tree. Because it's not attached to the ground.
Right.
Only if it's attached to the ground. It's yonik. It has a yanika. It has a... what's it called in English?
It's xylem and phloem.
Okay.
It's the name of their blood. That goes up and down.
I'd rather use the word yanika. That's easier. As long as it's yanika from the ground, then it's called mechubel l'karka. It's attached to the ground. But if it's dry, it doesn't have any yanika from the ground, it's not getting nourishment from the ground, then it's no issue to take it off.
There's that hole in a tree which is partly alive and partly dead. And you have sometimes trees we have certain parts of it are completely, there's no yanika because it's all.
That part that has no yanika is always a klisha.
Right.
So a dry tree is not considered mechuber b'karka?
Correct.
So, like for example, when we talked about many months ago about having shade, like the idea of being under a shade or something of a tree. There's a problem, right? Like to be under a shade because it wasn't a problem because it was mechuber l'karka, so it wasn't a problem to be under shade. But if a dry tree is not considered mechuber l'karka, maybe you can't.
Well, we had the one.
I thought it was you were okay to go under a tree because it was mechuber l'karka, like for shade on a.
I remember that.
Anybody else?
What about the David Sukkot? Is a dead tree a problem? Just like a dry tree?
No.
Tree? Maybe not.
No, it's not called right, a dead tree. You have some branches of a dead tree hanging over your sukkah. It won't pass with a sukkah. Usually dead trees don't have leaves.
There's a lot of branches there.
If it's a dead tree, it's not a problem of chubul l'karka. You may have other issues. This is a schach v'schach. That's a different issue. And not every time that tree is hanging over your sukkah is because it's schach possible hanging over your sukkah. There's other issues also. Sukkah of schach v'schach. Fine. So that's if it's a dry tree, and that's in the summer where you can tell between a live tree and a dead tree. In the winter, it's also to use even a dead tree. Why? When Abraham says in the winter you can't tell the difference between a dry tree, a dead tree, and a live tree. None of them have leaves on them. Rashi says that a dry tree, it's not shaykh to have any tlisha. There's no issur of breaking something off. Avodas Rambam says the Magen Avram, to be yavesh shayich klisha. The Rambam holds that even on a dry tree, it is shayich klisha. Mashakasat Seif Beis. When we get there, we'll discuss this question more. In Seif Beis, it says you have a fruit that's dried by its a place where it's attached to the tree. So if you're not pull it off or not, the Rambam holds you're not allowed to. But if it's dried, I mean it's not. No, it's a klisha. So we'll see there. Other Achrayim said the Rambam never meant to say this by a totally dead tree. A dead tree, the Rambam was going to mask him, is no klisha. So we'll leave this to Seif Beis. But sorry for the Asher of the day. How to come with Gemara? V'chenasvin peri. We'll see this question with the Rambam when we get to Seif Beis. So Pashas behold, a dead tree, there's no klisha, and still there's an issur of being mishtamish with the tree. If you look in the Taz here, Seif Khan Aleph, an important Taz. See, ain't other ilan. Alphagat the Gabi Asovim by grass. Mutta Leilach Alayem. Moshe Seif Gimel. The latter go on grass. I will see later on that Mechubal Akaka is only also if it's a tree. If it's high. Something that's low, grass. And something that's low, we never answered because of Mechubal Akaka. We'll see why.
Low is talking.
Huh?
Low is
that's what it's talking. Yeah. So Alphagat the Gabi Asovim Mutta Leilach Alayem. Moshe Seif Gimel. And why are you allowed to walk on a Asovim? You may have the same problem. You may end up ripping out grass. So why by tree we said you're not allowed to use a tree because you might take off a pre. You may take off a peri on Shabbos. But grass, we're not worried that maybe you can end up pulling out grass while you're walking. It's much more shchiach that while you're walking to pull out grass than it is to forget and take off an apple from a tree on Shabbos.
Does it mean to say that when you're like using the tree, you might by accident move your hand and knock?
No, that's what I was saying. That's why I want to speak. That's why I'm learning this task. Right? There's Hasam Atamish from the Ikra Chashash, Shanitl Shubi B'Sosai. The chashash there is by grass that as you're walking on it, you may end up pulling out grass. We hold like a Shimon that Davish Ein Mischavin, you don't have a mind to pull out the grass, that's mutin. Masha'ein Kain Be'ilon, Hava Atam Mishum Shema Yitloish, then maybe you'll end up pulling it off. Is that Ma'idin of Shimon the Asa? Then of Shimon is masking that it's Asa, because it may end up pulling off an apple. So that's the difference. By a tree, it's not a chash that while you're using the tree, you may knock off a leaf. If that would be the chash, it'll be just like grass. So while you're walking on grass, it may end up pulling out some grass on Shabbos. No, here's a different chash. Here the chash is you may forget it's Shabbos, and you may end up pulling off, without purposely, an apple or a fruit from the tree or a leaf or a branch. Therefore it's off. So that's the difference between asavim, grass, and the tree. Okay. Says the Mechaber Vayta, since it's also to use a tree, so therefore, Allah b'ilam b'Shabbos, if someone goes up on a tree on Shabbos, so it depends. If it's b'shayig mutaleid, you let him come down. Now, the issue of coming down of a tree on Shabbos is, as it's coming down,
you're going to break the branch.
No. What's the issue of coming off a tree on Shabbos?
Using it.
You're using it, b'shamish. You're using a tree. Right?
You go up also.
You're right. No. So you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to go up on the tree on Shabbos, b'shamish milah. You're not allowed to come down because you're b'shamish milah. But someone goes up on a tree on Shabbos. Right? So there it depends. If it's b'shoigig, he forgot. So mutalede, he's allowed to go down. We'll see what this means soon. Possibly the Mechaber means that you're right. He is going to be over an issue of a shtamshus, of using a tree on his way down. Still, he forgot it was Shabbos. We don't want him to be stuck in the tree the whole Shabbos. So mutalede, we let him come down on Shabbos. Even though the coming down is an issue d'Rabbanan of a shtamshus be'ilam, we let him. The Mezid, if he went up there on purpose, also laid. He's not allowed to come down. We're not meko to be matir hishtamshus be'ilam if he went up there b'mezid. So we have to make this point very clear. He goes up there, if he was over an issa by going up there, Now he wants to come down, and by coming down, he's going to be over an issa v'shtamshus be'ilan v'mekel, by a shogeg. You don't want a person to be stuck to the whole Shabbos. But if we're not to be amazed, you don't give him any kulas, and he's got to stay there till after Shabbos.
If he jumps, he's not...
So that's a question. That's a question. If he jumps off the tree, does it come down? It's a person to speak about it. It could be, even if we're not to be amazed, you're allowed to jump off the tree.
Or what if he had no intention to come down? Because there's a tree house up there. He wanted to spend the rest of Shabbos up there.
He's not allowed to move.
Not allowed to move.
Not allowed to move around. Every time you move around, you be mishtamesh b'ila.
It's interesting that the whole issue here is because Shemi Yalav Yiklash. I think that the longer he stays there, they're going to make him stay there for 20 hours, say.
Right, there's more.
It's much more likely that
more of a shot.
Even the Mazy is there.
So they don't let you do it. They don't let you do it. Some people say the reason, could I bring it down over here? But the reason why we're trading Mameko if you look in the Mishnah Berurah Sifkan Vav, the shogeg mutter. Why is the shogeg mutter? Since when do we let him come down and be able to see the Rabbanon? Says the Mishnah Berurah, after be read the zoom mishtamash be'ilah, even though by coming down he's using the tree, Afar became ein lesson alone. Why? The Gambi Yeshivasa mishtamishu. Even by sitting there, he's using the tree. By sitting in the tree, he's using the tree. Yeah, so by coming down, you're not doing anything worse.
So what?
But by amazing, they gave you a class. They don't let you come down.
But then you're still doing it more.
Right. So let's make a difference. So now what the question is, what should I do? Right? If they don't let me come down, so I'm being mushtamesh the whole Shabbos.
Right.
So I don't listen to them when I come down. So I'm only being over an issue as I'm coming down, not listen to the Rabbanan. Right. So maybe I should come down.
Jump. One actually says that.
He said
jump.
Mutta.
To jump.
Yeah, jump.
To jump, but not to come down.
No.
Right.
It's better to jump.
Right. So that's a shiloh.
You don't have this.
Right. So that's a shiloh. So that's a shiloh. Well,
we all know what to do now.
So what's the difference? What's the difference? The price can say that maybe some, not everyone holds like a Shem Zalman, but a price can say that if you could jump, jump. What do you mean? What's the chiluk if I jump or I come down the tree? And then I'm being mishtamash b'ilah as I'm sitting there. I'm also being mishtamash b'ilah. I'm sitting in the tree, I'm being mishtamash b'ilah.
Right.
So if you jump, you're allowed to come down. If I want to walk down the tree, then I can't do. Why not?
Because you're being mishtamash as you come down.
Yeah. And I'm also being mishtamash. I'm sitting in the tree. I'm being mishtamash.
No, that's why he says
right
to jump
in one shot.
No, but why? Even if you're coming down, right?
You're using the tree. Each second
step you're making.
What's a knas? The knas is you got to stay in the tree. That's a knas. So who cares if I'm jumping down and I'm not being over? I'm being over on the knas. Right? The Chazal gave a knas. You got to stay in the tree. Now, how do you understand that knas? They punish you have to stay in the tree. They punish you have to stay in the tree. So then, why are you allowed to jump off? Why are you allowed to jump off? Other man can say no. They punish you. They can't come down the tree. They can't be mishtamash for the tree to come down. But I'm being mishtamash for the tree now as I'm sitting there also.
Right.
So why can't I just come down? Why can't I just come down? Use the tree, come down,
exactly.
And don't listen to the knas. And one you be mishtamash b'ilah for only a minute till you get down. And one, the other side is I've been mishtamash b'ilah the whole Shabbos.
As far as that, every second you're sitting in that tree,
you're using it.
Right. So therefore, we say get off the tree.
Jump.
Now we say minimize how the...
No, we don't say get off the tree. Even if someone's is masculine, can't walk down the tree.
Because it's better to jump, because if
you can't jump. Let's say you can't jump.
You can't jump.
So why should I stay up there for? Now I'm being over constantly, and now I'm being over only for a minute. What's the difference? What's the difference? No, see let's see the London's over here. What's the difference? If I'm sitting in the tree, I'm coming down the tree, I'm both being mishtamash b'ilah. So why?
This is for another time.
Very good. One is Shev al Tasa and one is a Kumbasei. Yeah, Shev al Tasa, Mamasei. That's the difference. If he's sitting in the tree, you might be Mishtamish Be'ilam. Shev al Tasa, I'm not doing anything. If you're walking down the street, it's a Kumbasei that you can't do. They don't let you do a Kumbasei. If I'm a shoygeg, so we let you do the Kumbasei and come down, even though you're being Mishtamish Be'ilam, we'll let you do the Kumbasei, because anyway, you're being Mishtamish Be'ilam by sitting there, you're right, Shav al Tasa. But I'm also being Mishtamish Be'ilam, so with shoygeg, they let you do it. But Mezid, we don't let you do it. That's what Hashem Zalman says, and that's the reason, so dropping off the tree, but I'm not doing any Kumbasei of Mishtamish Be'ilam, so then it's mutter. That's why it says you're allowed to jump off the tree.
And those people who don't say that, what's this for? The ones who don't allow you to jump
So we'll see soon. This is getting at the whole Lam Shashayla Shvera, how to understand exactly what it means. But we'll see soon that there's a Shayla of even there's a Shav al sitting on the tree, coming off the tree, that could be a Shtamshus Be'ilim also.
No, you hold the thing.
No, not holding. That's holding it. We'll see soon if you have a chayfetz lying on the tree. Say the Melech Smogan wrong. Right, you have a chayfetz lying on the tree, something on the tree. You want to take it off the tree on Shabbos. You're not allowed to take it off. Why not? Why aren't you allowed to take it off the tree on Shabbos?
Because you're using the tree.
I'm using the tree, taking it off the tree is using the tree?
Use it, well, it's on a branch. If you have to reach up into it.
No, I don't have to reach it. Sitting on the tree, all I got to do is pick my hand up and take it off. That's all I got to do. I don't have to use the tree for anything. Just to take the challah that's lying on the tree, I want to use it on Shabbos, take it off and use it.
Well, just like if you have a challah on your table,
yeah.
and you take it off the table, aren't you using the table?
Are you? Is that called using the table?
I think so.
You're using it by taking it off?
It's holding it up. So you can
no, it's holding it up. I'm not using it. Holding it up, the challah is using it.
No, but why did you say the tree is a buses?
No, the tree is not a buses.
No?
No. When I take something off the table, am I using the table?
No, let's say no.
I'm using the table, taking it off?
Well, if you're eating at the table.
No, if I'm eating, I'm using. No.
You're using the table. You're taking food off of the table.
No, when I take it off, I'm not using it. But the table's holding up my food. I'm using the table. But once I take it in my fork and I pick it up, I'm using the table.
Not anymore.
Taking something off a table is called using a table. That's going to be the next Magen Avraham. We'll see that a lot of Achronim hold, that taking it's Gemara, it's a big shayla. Taking something off a tree is called Hishtamshus Be'ilam.
Why?
A ball, as they say over here, falls on a frisbee, falls on a tree. You don't have to move any branches, nothing. You just have to take it off the tree. We'll see soon it's awesome. Why? It's called Hishtamshus Be'ilam. Why is that Hishtamshus Be'ilam? I'm not using the tree. It's lying on the tree, and it's lifting it off the tree. We'll see soon that is called Hishtamshus Be'ilam. Taking something off a tree is a kum va'aseh of Hishtamshus Be'ilam. If that's the case, so when I jump off the tree and take myself off the tree, it's also Hishtamshus kum va'aseh. That's what people argue with Shlomo. Because taking it off the tree, we'll see soon. It's called Hishtamshus. I'm not saying I understand it 100%, but we'll see soon. So that will be the chalkim of Shlomo Zalman. Because it's also a kum va'aseh. Fine. So now we have here again. So if it's Allah Be'ilam Shabbos B'Shoigig Mutter Leireit, B'Mezid Also Leireit, you're not allowed to come down. From Allah by Yoim, he went up on the tree by day. V'Chol Gav Mutter Leireit B'Shechashecha. Then even if he had a mind to stay there over the whole Shabbos, he's allowed to come down B'Chashecha. Yesh Ayimrim. Some people say it's only when he had a mind to come down before Shabbos. He didn't have a mind to come down on Shabbos, before Shabbos. He can't go down when it gets dark. Since he had a mind to sit there for Issa, this is a machlokes in the Gemara already, and different truths in the Gemara. If you went up before Shabbos, even though you had a mind to stay there on Shabbos, do they give you the knas also? Or maybe the knas is only when you did a maisa on Shabbos, you want an on Shabbos. But the day before Shabbos, they didn't make the knas.
So you can't use a treehouse on Shabbos either.
What?
You can't use a treehouse on Shabbos either.
100% not. Of course you can't use a treehouse on Shabbos.
So practically speaking, most of the people that climb trees are children.
Yeah.
Right.
So how do we...
Right, so that's a question. That's a question with children. A child of children, a child goes up there on Shabbos, is amazing. Right?
You couldn't go up before Shabbos. If you have a
treehouse.
No.
You can't go up before Shabbos.
No.
You did Shabbos.
Go close. You can't live there on Shabbos. You're not allowed to use a treehouse. The sukkah is the whole child of a sukkah. It's a whole Gemara sukkah. If you have a sukkah that even one side is being held up by a tree, so you'd be mishtamash mechubel l'kach, and you can't use it on Shabbos and Yom Tov. It's possible to use it. Yeah, so this is a big problem with kids who have tree houses. You know, it's a big problem. It's also they're not allowed to use it on Shabbos.
So again, what if a kid is? You're saying he's amazed. A
kid goes up there. So tell him to stay the whole Shabbos. No. No. For kids, the mice. It depends if you want them home or not. But kids, the mice that make. Once a kid went up there on Shabbos, the person make there, tell him to come down. Most kids are shaking him.
Can you take him down?
That's also a child. It's also a child. It's possible to be mishtamesh b'elam by taking him down.
You're lifting him.
You're lifting him up.
Well, he can't come down himself. That's basically it.
You jump in, you catch him, it's fine.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay, but this is a child. A kid's stuck in a tree. You definitely have to go for you let take him down. There's no question about that. We're talking about a kid that can get up and down the tree very easily. It's better to tell the kid to come down himself than you should take the kid off the tree. Yeah. It's a common problem. I'm not sure why people aren't makbid. Kids use tree houses all the time, but it's okay. Halacha-theory. So you want to say a kid in a machmir, to let him do surim or Shabbos. Okay, that's
if it's not a tree, if it's just made of the wood, but it's not mechubal karka, then it's okay.
Yeah. You're not saying a wooden tree on Shabbos? Yeah. Still a wooden tree on Shabbos. It has to be even a dry tree. You haven't speak about the shiloh. Not if you cut the tree down, but they use sometimes dry trees. They make benches out of them. It is a shiloh because.
But then it isn't a tree anymore.
You mean
it's a bench?
No, they use it. They make it into a bench.
It's still in the.
It's still in the ground. They make a log, right? A stump. They use it. So they, I think the place on the Ma'aseh Mekel.
Because Nika,
yeah. I don't remember, but could be a place on Mekel there. Because there's the nicker and it's the whole issue was by Yavesh was the Gzeira up to Lach. So far you don't have to make the Gzeira. But I don't remember offhand what the passing. I think the Mekel on something that was made into a bench to Mekel. If you look at the Taz, he's cut in Gimel. It's really going on the Ramah, but it's negay for here. Dafka Adam Sha'al Sham Pirish, Dafka Adam Hitiru Be'elu B'fnei Sha'isa Issa B'Amidat Sham. So Mekel by a person to come down, if he went up a Shaygig, why? Because while he's up there, anyway he's doing an Issa. V'tzorech Leired, he has to come down. Aval Maniach Chayfetz Asal HaRidai B'Shom Tzav. If someone puts a Chayfetz by mistake on a tree, we're not matter to take it down. Why would matter a person to come off the tree on Shabbos if it was there b'shai gig? It's like the Mishnah Berurah says. Because sitting there also, you're being over an Issa v'shtamshus be'ilam. So he said, better come down and you're over the whole time, even though it's kumbaseh. The lashon of the Taz is not mutalei. The Mechaber says mutalei. The Taz says tzarech leired. He has to come down. So if someone goes up on a tree b'shai gig, and now he decides, you know what? I want to stay there. Finds out it's usher, he's enjoying it up, they want to stay there till after Shabbos. According to the Mechaber's mashma, he could. I be mishtamish be'ilam, Shabbat Tasa, I'm not doing much, he could stay there. The Taz's mashma, tzarech leired, he has to come down. He doesn't have a choice. If he went up to B'shoy Gig, he must come down. The Mezid is not allowed to come down. B'shoy Gig, he must come down. The deed that the Egel Tal makes in the Taz.
Some people, I think we may have talked about this, some people have a hammock.
Yes, the hammock we get to. We get the hammock at the end of the simon. Hammock depends how it's attached to the tree. Stadim or siddiq stadim. We get to at the end of the simon.
The last part of this title says in the case it's also lahari mishum tzad.
Yeah.
Would you make an argument between a kefir mitzvah versus a...
No difference. No difference. It says halacha has a shefer, has a shana.
Right.
There's a shefer in a tree. You know, I'll take it down, Shabbos. Even though no one's going to be able to fulfill the mitzvah of shefer now, mechiv the raisa. Still, the one said not take something over a tree on Shabbos.
What about an animal?
Animal books in itself.
Does Tabor Chaim wouldn't come into that?
It's supposed to Tabor Chaim is there. We had a whole Shabbos. Tabor Chaim is there. Is there a bar on Shabbos? Maybe not. Yeah.
He does bring it down. But if it's on an animal, it's not like a tree, and you should come off.
No. If you're an animal.
I'm sorry?
If you're on an animal.
If you're on an animal.
He's talking about the animals in the tree.
Oh, if the animal's on the tree. Oh, no. Because you do, the svara of Tzar Baal Chaim does come up. If you're on the animal.
Yeah, it's something else.
Then
it's something else, because they could be allowed to come off the animal. We'll see soon. We'll see the animal soon.
But because,
Yeah. Animals are more kal. The whole issue is not just by animals, the more mekal. We'll see soon. Right, so let's see. So this house is very important to remember that the whole heter of a shoygig, to come off the tree is only because while you're there, you're also being over an issa. So that's what the Ramah says. Navadafka Adam she'alasham. Only a person who went up to the shoygig who mekel is allowed to come down, or he has to come down. Aval meniach sham chefetz b'yadayim aser litlay misham b'Shabbos. You're not allowed to take it off the tree on Shabbos. So you have a chefetz on a tree on Shabbos, you're not allowed to take it off. So let's see the Magen Avram here. Sichon Beis. Aser litlay. Umehei taima ein menichim ner. Allah b'yamtiv, Moshe Kosa, Semicha and Zion, Tiv Dalit. You're now going to put a ner, a lamp, a light, on a tree at Shabbos to keep it there. On Yamtiv, Why Yamtiv and on Shabbos? Because Shabbos, you could put it there before Shabbos, because without Choshesh, you're going to take it down on Shabbos. The ner is mukta on Shabbos. So there's no Choshesh, you're going to take it down. But on Yamtiv, with Choshesh, you're going to take it down on Yom Tov, therefore you're not allowed to put it there before Yom Tov, because it may end up taking it down on Yom Tov.
You could figure out why the Magen won't switch from Shabbos to Yom Tov.
Yeah, that's the reason why. On Shabbos, anything that's mukta anyway, you're not allowed to use the tree. You're not allowed to leave something on the tree on Shabbos. That's mukta. You're not allowed to take it off the tree. So something that anyway you're not going to take off, but it's mukta. For example, on Shabbos, it's mukta to leave it there. But on Yom Tov, you're allowed to take it down, it's also to leave it there from before Yom Tov. For Rosh Kosev, Perikei the Shabbos, the not mikrim mishtamish b'mechuber. That if you take it off, this is the Rosh Hashita. We'll see soon there's a steer in the Rosh. I'm going to pass in this way. But the Rosh holds taking something off a tree is not called being mishtamish b'mechuber. Right? Taking something off a table, the Rosh holds, is not called being mishtamish with the table. For Rosh Kosev Simish and Zion, the Mutter Likshon, Chavol Piapara. Same way you're allowed to tie, you're not allowed to be mishtamish for balachayim. You're not allowed to use animals on Shabbos either. Same issue. The muktzah, and also you're not allowed to use them. Now you're not allowed to sit on top of an animal on Shabbos. Even though you're not moving it, it's also the mishtamish for balachayim. But you're allowed to tie a string around the animal. Says the Rosh, the same way it's also the mishtamish for balachayim with animals. You're not allowed to use animal on Shabbos. But still you're allowed to tie something around it and take it off. Same thing a tree. You're not allowed to use a tree at Shabbos. You're allowed to take something off the tree because that's not called the stamshus. That's the Rosh's raya, to take something off a tree on Shabbos is not called the stamshus. And the Tama Issa B'ner, it's a different reason. Shemiyala ala ilan kadei litloi. You may end up going on the tree, climbing up the tree to take it off. But the fact that you may take it off directly without climbing off the tree not a problem. The Rosh. Siman336 Seif Gimel, the Machasham, the Svilei the Rosh, the Aser Litel Chayfetz Me'al Ilan. You're not allowed to take off anything off a tree that's called a stamshus.
Well, what was the case there?
I'm not sure. I remember the case over there. What's the case over there?
Why there was he?
That's a question. Steve the Rosh.
I guess there's another case there which he said that you're not allowed to take it off.
Oh, that's by Shefer.
Oh.
That's by Shefer. Right, then I'll take a Shefer off a tree on Shabbos. Why? According to the Rosh, not being Mishamish Be'ilam, but just removing it. Removing something from a tree, according to the Rosh, now is not called a Stamshus. And they said it is called a Stamshus. Gemara says the Magen Avram, it's a verse in the Gemara that removing something from a tree is called a Stamshus. Even from a basket that's on a tree, you now take something out of the basket. Why not? That's called a Stamshus Be'ilam. When the Koshel says Siman336 Seif for sure not Be'ilam Gufa the Asa Lito. Don't tell me that we're going to call it Gufa Tam Shamiyal Ala Ilan. You may go up on the tree to take it off. The Mecha takes the Yala, Kivin Shilamata Miyud. It's very low. But after the Svilei, the Rosh will hold, Kivin to the Maliyah Sligzar, Imken Galamata Miyud, also to let plug, Wash Enke Behemoth, the Roy Behemoth, and in the Voyen Ken Kolkach, Verdoichen. Maybe you'll say the Rosh, that by animal you're not Geizer, by a Kakol you are Geizer, the Matamiyud, after the Matamiyud, he doesn't like it. Imken, the Mainaf Community, Kots of a Rosh, the Neutler, the Mikra Mishamish Mumutubin. Kivin al Kaponim, also little Chevitz Misham. Since anyway, you're now allowed to take a Chevitz from there. So the Kitzah, the Magen Avram drives the Tzarchin on the Rosh, he doesn't understand the serious in the Rosh, and the Magen Avram himself comes out that taking a Chevitz, anything off a tree, it's called Hishtamshus Be'ilam. You're not allowed to do that. Very important to know. Anything that falls on a tree, you're not allowed to take it off the tree. Then it's called Hishtamshus.
He introduces Yud Tvachim. We've been talking about Gimel Tvachim.
No, Yud Tvachim. Yeah, we're talking Gimel Tvachim Sisum.
Right. So what the Yud is?
No, because Yud Tvachim Yud Tvachim is a thing that you have to climb up. If something that's usually lower than 10 Tvachim, so with Choshish, we're not Choshish, we have to climb up to get it, because it's here.
So then why do we have 3 Tvachim?
The 3 Tvachim is something else. 3 Tvachim is called the Kaka. What it's called the Kaka itself. You're not allowed to use Kaka, you're not allowed to use a tree.
You mean grass, you go on grass.
Right?
Or trees?
No, there's 2 different things here. There's a tree, you're not allowed to use a tree. Right? Now, is a tree less than 3 Tvachim to the ground? We call it the ground, and therefore you're allowed to use it.
Right.
That's one thing. See the next thing. Here we're talking about a tree you're not allowed to use. Right? So maybe the Rosh will hold you're only not allowed to use something in a tree if it's higher than 10 Tvachim because you have to climb up to get it. But if it's lower than 10 Tvachim, you don't have to climb up to get it anyway. So therefore, you could use it. You could leave it on the tree and take it off the tree. Because taking off the tree, removing something is not called the Stamshus Be'ilam according to the Rosh. So the Magen Avram was making a chiluk that maybe the Rosh only asked removing from a tree when it was higher than 10 Tvachim, because you have to climn up. Lower than 10 Tvachim, there's no issue.
Because it doesn't have the...
Because you have to climb up.
And that's only the Rosh or others?
Only the Rosh. So the Magen Avram holds, you're never allowed to take anything off a tree, even less than 10 Tvachim. Because that's called b'mishtamish be'ilam. If the chash is something yale, you can climb up the tree. So only higher than 10 Tvachim, we may climb up the tree. But if the issue is you gotta take something off the tree, removing it, then we don't care about 10 and not 10.
Shaking the tree, is that considered to be his Stamshus?
Yeah, of course. It's removing it. It's removing it, yeah. Fine, so the Magen Avram holds that removing something from a tree is awesome. Now, it says, L'das HaMagid Mishnah, we have to understand, the Rosh has a raya. You're not allowed to use an animal on Shabbos, you're allowed to untie it. So you see, taking something off is mutter. So it says, L'das HaMagid Mishnah, Tzarech Loimar, the Ilan, Derech Tashmishoy, Lital Mimenu, Ulaniach Al Gabov, that's the way you use it. It's a derech tashmisha to put something on it, take something off. You keep things in trees. Therefore, it's also to take something off a tree at Shabbos. Bani says, you don't store things on animals. It's even less than Stadim, B'ayim Shabbos B'Rashi, Tav Kufnan Dalid, Teida, the also Liksha Behema B'Ilan, you're not allowed to tie a tree, Behema to a tree. B'Chevel B'Pipara Shari. But a chevel on the side of the animal, which attached to the animal, you're allowed to untie it. Alavadai Kedamoran, that there's a difference between the animal, you're not allowed to use an animal on Shabbos, but it's only mishtamish, sitting on it, let's say. But removing something from the animal, there's no issue, that's mutter. But removing something from a tree, that's derech tashmisha b'kach, and therefore it's called being mishtamish be'ilam, and it's awesome. So here, the Magen Avraham gives a little bit light to understand why taking something off a tree is awesome. You're not using the tree. So it says it is called using it. It's called derech tashmisha. Removing it, that's the way you use a tree. Put something on it, you take it off. So even though I'm taking something off the tree, so I'm not really using it, that's called using a tree.
It's like one package.
Yeah, it's one package. I can take my table.
Yeah.
When I'm eating from the table, I'm using the table. Even though I'm removing it from the table, but that's derech tashmisha. That's called part of the usage of the table.
I don't usually store stuff on a tree, but usually do it if there are parents on it.
No. They used to store stuff on trees. They used to keep things in trees.
Coat hanger.
Coat hanger, yeah. People used to keep things in trees.
Today, if you're camping, you put things away from animals.
Put things in trees is a common thing. Today we don't.
Didn't they use animals also, like donkeys and camels?
So they didn't store things in it. They slept packages.
Yeah.
They slept packages. I don't know if they stored things on animals. They'll lock it off.
Once the animal stops, you take it off.
Yeah,
I guess.
right. Not meant to storage. You don't keep your candle or your challah on the animal because it's going to fall off. The animal is not packages. So this is a little bit of a light. Before we were saying taking something off a tree. Why is that called using a tree? I'm not using it. I'm taking it off. From here you see a little bit understanding. Derech tashmisha means since the usage is putting things on, taking them off. That is called hishtamshus b'ilma. Therefore you cannot take anything off a tree on Shabbos. So this is a big issue.
So just once again, how is that different than a table?
No, saying also a table, even taking something off a table, that's derech tashmisha. When you use a table, you put something on, take something off, it's called tashmisha. Even though when you take something off the table,
derech tashmisha is what you're saying for the tree.
Right. The table also
for the table.
Table also is called derech tashmisha. That's when you use the table. It's not also to use the table. You gotta use the table on Shabbos.
So why the difference? If it's both derech tashmisha.
No. A tree you're not allowed to be mishamish with. A table you're allowed to be mishamish with. I was giving an example. You're not using the table on Shabbos.
Of course.
Yeah. So I was giving an example. When you take something off the table, is that called using the table? Perhaps not. But from here we see that usage means the way you mishamish with it. Put something on, take something off, even though taking it off, not really using the table.
So because there is an issur of derech
no, the issue of by a tree, anything is derech tashmisha.
Derech tashmisha.
Therefore it's also
by a table.
Right, correct. So therefore it's also by a tree because that's called derech tashmisha. You can't take it off. Halacha-theory, anything falls on a tree, I'll take it off. Because kids get a ball or a frisbee stuck on the trees, also take it off.
What about hedges?
Hedges may be more kal. We'll see soon. Hedges are more of a shchicha to kashayla. Happens a lot of times. Yarmulke blows off, falls on top of bushes. So the mice the place going to make them. The mice, in such a case, the place going to make them. They come out to cover abrias. They can't walk around without yarmulke.
I'm just going with a ball. If you play a ball in the yard.
Kids play a ball in the yard. It falls into the hedges. It's not so simple to take it out. Let's see.
But isn't the governing factor if the hedge is lower than 3 tefachim?
Right, lower than 3 tefachim is good. Most hedges are.
Where do you get a hedge?
Most hedges, 3 tefachim is very low.
Most hedges are more than 3 tefachim.
Yeah, most hedges are more than 3 tefachim. So if a wall falls on a hedge, we also take it off. So let's see. The dafka autumn. So they're ready. Now says the Magen Avraham, it's all by trees. Avokonim harakim, weeds that are soft, they're not hard. Kiyerek, mutter leishtamish behem, they're allowed to use them that don't have a din shri. Afa pisha mechabarim bekarka, they ain't also leishtamish beyerek. They never made an issa to use a yerek, to use weeds. That they were matter. They never asked it. So as long as it's soft, not like it's hard like a tree, it's mutter. But if it's hard, even though it's short, we also have to use it. So therefore, any branches, any bushes that has a din like a tree, we also to take something off on Shabbos. So the Mishnah Berurah comes out here with a chumrah to Primogodim really, that even this, they allow to use something that's chonim harakim, but he says that's only if there's no growth to it. But if you have even something that's soft, it's not a tree, floating, girokas, things that grow very close to the ground. If there's fruit there, so you may pull off those fruits also. That itself is also to use. Shemoneh-esrei. The gzeira is only at a tree because you may go up and pull something off. But as much lower, we didn't make the gzeira. But if the thing has growth, that you pull things off of it, says the Mishnah Berurah, it's also l'establish by. Not how much hanagay it is, because anyway we don't use some of the vegetables growing in the garden. They're not going to store things on it. But it's a chumrah the Mishnah Berurah comes out of there. Okay.
But just back to the question about the hedges. If the whole Isser in the first place is shemoneh-esrei, I mean, you don't have that by a hedge, do you? The acid all trees. The acid trees. Even though hedges, there's no fruit growing on there, doesn't make a difference. It's not only fruit trees that the acid all trees. The acid all trees, the acid.
Where is it? Everywhere you find that the Isser is halacha-theory. Where it seems like the Isser is much, much broader, and it's shemoneh. Right.
So we ought to use it some halacha-theory.
So when Mechaber brings down, he talks about shemoneh-esrei. So it should have been that there should have been an Isser, and then the question: where would we see it? Where there is shemoneh, for a tree. Because we're learning this as a.
It says
but why shemoneh-esrei?
Right, but the Isser is established.
Right. Now, is that a Gemara? Now, where it's a Gemara?
Yeah.
Because he's not bringing it down here. In other words, because when he brings down here shemoneh-esrei, immediately you could start saying if you don't have the.
Oh no! It says Amish Tamshim.
Much bigger.
Right, Amish Tamshim. Why?
Should have been just there's an Isser Shimush.
Yeah, but he gives the reason why.
I'm sorry?
He gives the reason why. The Chabad gives the reason why it's also.
But it seems like the Isser Shimush is much greater than halacha-theory.
What do you mean? That's why it's greater.
In other words, even when you don't have an issue of halacha-theory, you don't have, it's a tree that's not fruit bearing.
Why the paint doesn't have ink in it? Can I pick it up?
If it's dry.
I understand.
No, here's worse.
You're giving the reason for it. The reason here seems to be. No, the reason's not because you're right. It's because you're going to do mekah kumenkar.
No. What's up? I think we're getting carried away. No. The issue is the one that says "Dinala b'mishkamash be'elam." Period. The reason is shemoneh-esrei. But the acid all established.
Any desire is generally broader than the actual melacha. Any desire that you've got is generally broader than the melacha.
Well, it is broader than the melacha, isn't it?
Generally, that's what desire is.
Yeah, but that's the whole Magen Avraham. So why was it dry tree where there's no kshash shemoneh-esrei? Why is it also, right? We see that the Isser is established, even if in that situation there is no shemoneh-esrei.
But then the Mechaber should have said that the Isser is established. Why? Because shemoneh-esrei
says that. Why? Because there is shemoneh-esrei. That's what he says.
Okay. I mean, but it's a Gemara. This idea.
The Gemara says you're not going to use a tree on Shabbos. Okay. And I think one of the other reasons why, trying to figure out what's the reason why it's also to use a tree on Shabbos. What ends up saying is
right, because when you come to the Magen Avraham, you would think, oh, Shemiyah Levitlash, so they're obviously a non-fruit-bearing tree.
Yeah, but the Mechaber says, Bein Lach, Bein Yavesh.
Yeah. It's straight. Okay.
Right? So it's straight out. Even Yavesh. It's a Gemara, it says it. And the reason is Shemiyah Levitlash. You're right, I took it very far. That's where we brought the Mishnah Brura. The Taka took the issue much further than the case of Shemiyah Levitlash. It took it even in the case where there's no Shemiyah Levitlash. That's where we brought the Mishnah Brura and says it's Yog together. They made a bigger boundaries over here. There's more shchiyah.
You said at some point many months you can't even touch a tree. Right? I think you said
no, you can't use it. That's a touch.
You cannot lean on it.
That's it. You can't use it.
Yeah, that's called
shade. Is
something else.
Is that shimush?
That's fine. Shade you're allowed to use.
Wait,
I be mishtamish be'ilah. No, it's fine. It's fine. That is mishtamish be'ilah is mutter. Interesting question. It's not using the tree directly. It's
and the sign and blocking the sun is becoming very tangible.
No, it's an interesting question. I never thought of it. You know, if it's also mishtamish be'ilah, so then how can you sit in the shade of a tree being mishtamish be'ilah? Interesting question. I don't know.
Indirectly.
It's indirect. I know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Interesting question.
Right.
But
especially if the ball is blocking the sun, so you're using the ball which is sitting in the tree, and you're having the ball actually give you shade
on a tree.
Yeah. So that's the issue of using it. Yeah. It's not touching it. Oh, is that touching it?
I thought there was a gezerah of touching it, even touching it.
No, we said that muktzah is an issue tilt to moving it. Shri is an issue to use it. So if you're leaning on the tree to do something, tie your shoe, let's say, so you're leaning on the tree, you're using the tree.
No, but if you're walking through like a wood path on Shabbat or something, and there's trees there.
That's a question. Yeah, we'll move them. I bet it's to move out of the way.
Like
the brushes against the shoulder.
Even if you're not intentionally touching it, let's say you're brushing against the tree.
Right, so that's moving it.
Right.
That's moving it. Yeah, if you're brushing against the tree while you're walking, it's not a problem. But if you're moving the branches, that could be a problem. That's something else. And the person speak about it. Why you're allowed to walk in a wooded area where there's branches, and you have to push away the branches to get through. But if you brush against a tree, it's not a problem. You're not moving it, and you're not using it.
Right.
Okay, see base. Shrosh Ilan, the roots of a tree, Hagavoyim in the Aretz Gimel Tfachim, they're off the ground 3 Tfachim, also Lehishtamesh Behem. You're not allowed to use them. Why? Because that's called a tree. The Kakarka Chashivi. Sorry. Pokas Mikan, if it's less than 3 Tvachim, Mutter Lehishtamesh Behem, the Kakarka Chashivi, they consider it like Karka, and therefore it's Mutter. Then Bo Milmaila V'Yodim Lamata, it's a branch hanging down low. The Mokim Shegavoyim Shleisha Asuri, the same branch, it's higher than 3 Tvachim, it's Mutter. It's also, in a place where it's less than 3 Tvachim, Mutarim. Then it's Mutter. So if it gets anything less than 3 Tvachim to the ground, it's Mutter because of Lavud. We say it's like Karka.
Maybe that's why sitting in the shade wouldn't be so bad. If you're sitting, you're lower than that.
Sitting in the shade, you'd be You'd be mishtamish be'ilan, but the shimush comes from the tree that's higher than that. Right, you'd be mishtamish with underbutt. Okay. Then he says, let's say it was 3 Tvachim high, and there's opening under it. From one side, there's no opening under it. Still, also leishev afilu al tzad hashava la'aretz. So it says if you have
root, that part of it is higher than 3 tefachim, and part of it is lower than 3 tefachim, you're not allowed to sit even on the part that's lower than 3 tefachim. Why? There's one big piece, and the piece that's higher than 3 tefachim is also holding you up, and therefore you're not allowed to sit on it. So we look at the Magen Avram here. It says, "Shemitzad echad, aval emi beis stadim shavan la'aretz." But if 2 sides, it's equal to the ground. When we base stadim gvoya, and 2 sides it's higher, shari. That's mutter. There's 4 sides to everything, right? They're a big stump, 4 sides. So on 2 sides, it's higher than 3 tefachim, and the other 2 sides lower than 3 tefachim. So then it says you're allowed to. You're allowed to sit on it on the one that's higher than 3 tefachim.
A 3 stump which is cut in an angle.
Yeah.
Only if you spike.
So the interesting part over here is if you read the Mechaber, it's masha from the Mechaber. If one side, let's say you have one side up and one side down, right? There are 2 sides to it. One side up and one side down.
The root coming out.
Yeah. Here it's awesome.
But 2 and 2 it's mutter.
Does it make sense? Right?
No, because if the root came.
Well, we have the Metzias. Halacha, right? Let's say you have one side up and one side down. 2 sides.
So you have a tree that's growing and it's got a root that's coming like this. You say that's awesome. If the root comes out, goes in the ground, comes up again, this is mutter.
Why? Why is that?
Because it's in the ground, it's coming up and going back in the ground.
So that's what it's 2 stadim?
That's what I understand, yeah. You get trees that have roots that spread out apart. The trunk is up to the trunk.
So we have 4 stadim. We have 4 stadim.
Yeah, but I didn't see that.
Yeah, we have 4 stadim. So if you read the Mechaber and the Magen Avram here, it's mashma. If it's one side down and one side up, it's usher.
That'd be a normal root that's going up the tree.
Right. So mashma, that's usher. If you have 4 sides, that's the Magen Avram says. In the base stadim shavan la'aretz, in the base stadim gvoya, shari. 2 and 2 is mutter. So
it could be because when it's 1 and 1, we say that the lower side is being held by that one upper side.
That would be the roots going into the ground.
You could say that the lower side is being held up by the other lower side.
Yeah. Okay. But if it goes in and out, that's not what
it would go up and down. It would go higher and lower than.
Yeah, so basically, I think we're talking about something that has 4 sides here. 2 sides could be in the ground, 2 sides could be higher in the ground. If you look at the Mishnah Berurah, he says a few words which helps us out. When you read the Mechaber and the Magen Avram, it's hard to understand because it's mashma that if it's 2 and 2 it's mutter, 1 and 1 is also. Why is that? So if you look at the Mishnah Berurah, it takes care of everything. So look at the Mishnah Berurah Siv Chav Gimel. The Gren Shakatna Yigvoye by Sitzad. Maybe men are the malam and honor of Shig by Gimel Tvachim. Dafka Mitzad Echad. Only if one side is that way. The bottle Oisay Tzad the Gabe Hashloisha Tzadim. When it says one side, it doesn't mean only one side. It says Afa Mishum Tzad Echad Ein halacha-theory means one side is less than 3 and 3 sides is higher than 3. So then it's bottle. So some name Gvoy Gimel Tvachim After Mishnei Stadim Shavan La'aretz Oisay Stadim Mutter L'Shamash Alayan. So Mishnah Berurah says it always has 4 sides. If you have one side, can I get 3 sides? You can't sit on it. But if you have 2 and 2, then you could. So it's 50%, then it's mutter. Whatever the Metzias is. Okay, we'll see Seif Gimel next week.